Hey guys, welcome to Life and Tennis. In today's video, I wanted to do a part 2 on the Jannik Sinner case, particularly with some updates and to clear up a few comments that I made in my first video. So thank you to Ricardo. My first comment, my first proper comment, that wasn't my mate's, on the, with regarding the use of TUEs or therapeutic use exemptions, and for bringing up a few things that I either forgot to mention or maybe didn't make clear in my first video. So firstly, one thing I forgot to mention in my video is that Jannik Sinner's case involved contamination with his physiotherapist, Giacomo Naldi, using the massage spray that contained the banned substance clostebol to treat a cut while he wasn't wearing gloves. So that's something I neglected to mention. And I want to reiterate that I wasn't claiming that Sinner was applied for a TUE, only that he could have applied if he had known what the physiotherapist, what Naldi was using, but in this case, he wasn't to be aware that, Naldi was treating a cut and wasn't wearing gloves, and that he would, be contaminated, basically. So I do tend to agree with you, Ricardo, that Jannik Sinner is definitely in the clear, and the ITIA found him innocent in the end after he appealed his positive tests. So thank you for bringing up those comments. And I also want to reiterate that I am a Jannik Sinner defender, but for me there are still clear transparency issues with the anti-doping bodies and the ITIA. In light of new events, we've also seen further comments from players like Djokovic, Alcaraz, and even Sinner himself, in which he stated that he did nothing wrong. Novak himself actually probably had the most measured comments out of all those players. He made quite a lengthy statement, but basically I think he even agreed with my comments that there should be clear protocols surrounding the ITIA and how every player is tested or treated on the tour with regards to testing and anti-doping. Sinner was also given a warm welcome by the US Open crowd as he stepped onto Arthur Ashe Stadium, which was really good to see, and it also shows basically how popular Sinner is and where tennis fans in general stand on the doping case. So it's great to see that he got that warm welcome. And we've also seen a bizarre but hilarious interaction with Nick King Kyrgios and Andy Roddick on Twitter, now X. I can't get my head around that one. Twitter's being called X these days, but I guess it is. With Kyrgios calling a Sinner fan a dumbass or a dumbass, and pardon my American accent, and Roddick responding with dumbass is one word. But then Kyrgios to respond by saying, thanks for the heads up, can you also explain what prohibited at all times means? So yeah, a bit of a funny interaction there, sort of classic Kyrgios. But yeah, it's always entertaining to see. I really like those interactions, even though a lot of people say, what's Kyrgios doing running his mouth? He's always been very outspoken, so you can't say that he hasn't been and that he always speaks his mind. And I do appreciate honesty, and it's always fun to see people expressing their personalities on tour. I think sometimes you can go a bit overboard, but it's what we've come to expect from Kyrgios, and you either love it or you hate it, but he is who he is. And it's the same with Roddick. Roddick's also someone who, is also very outspoken as well, and I like both those guys. I think they have great personalities and they're good for tennis. Kyrgios has also doubled down on his comments, saying that he stands by every word that he said, which is not surprising. And he's fighting for a level playing field for everyone, which is fair enough. I totally understand that. And he used Jenson Brooksby, the American player, as an example of a player who had his career taken away from him for over a year for missing 3 doping tests. And he's also a player who, may never, come back on the tour properly. I mean, I think he has been trying to work his way back up onto the tour, but yeah, it's quite tough when he's been banned for, I think, 13 months after initially being found guilty for 18 months. So yeah, it's always going to be tough to get your way back onto the tour when you've been out for so long. Throughout it all, it seems that Sinner hasn't been fazed by all the controversy surrounding the doping case. He had a good 4-set win in his opening round against American Mackenzie McDonald, albeit with a bit of a shaky start in the first set, but after that point he won fairly comfortably in 4. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on the matter, and whether Sinner can win the US Open with this debate regarding the doping case still swirling around. And as always, leave a comment below, like, subscribe for more tennis related content. Cheers guys.